Today I'm doing a video on anger. I wanted actually to do a series of videos on anger and its management. This is Teacher Grandma, a teacher for 34 years and a grandmother of two pretty little girls. My belief always is that when we have a problem, say the problem is anger, it is always good first of all to understand the problem and then to know and to learn a solution to solve the problem. Some years ago, I was teaching a young man who had joined my class to learn to read English. And while we were teaching him to read English, this gentleman shared with me that he had a problem with anger. And the conversation actually began because I was trying to fix a timing for his class, and he said, "No, I go for anger management classes." And I'm like, "Anger management? What? Why?" And he said, "No, ma'am, I have an anger problem, and the anger problem is quite chronic. I have broken a couple of fridges in my house." And when he said that to me, I must admit, taken aback. And so I realized that anger can be a real problem for people. Now in this video, I'm going to explain to you the external and the internal signs of anger. What do we see on the external and what actually is going on in our body, that is the internal. Now when I talk about an angry person, when you close your eyes and you remember an angry person, what are the things that you see in a person when they are angry? You will see that the person's eyes become big, they become bulging. You will notice that a person's hands get clenched. You will notice that the jaw sometimes becomes very tight. You will sometimes notice that when people are really angry, and if they are fair, the blood rushes to their face. They may have red ears or they may have a flushed face. Sometimes there are people who have a vein that throbs in their forehead, and these are the external signs of anger. When we see someone that is angry, these external signs are actually to stop us because they feel threatened and they are in the instinct mode. They are in the mode of survival. Now, what goes on within the system when it comes to anger? This is something that opened my mind to understanding anger, and after I understood this, after I attended a couple of courses, I understood this, and I felt that if people knew what was going on in their system when it came to anger, they would be able to handle, to control, and to understand their anger in themselves as well as in others. So, anger is something that is present when it works, it starts in the brain. So, we have three parts of the brain that I'm going to explain. The first part is the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is this portion of the brain which moves a little towards the back. This is our logical brain. This is the portion of the brain that we use when studying, when doing mathematical problems, when doing logic, when judging whether we should do something or not, when taking an action, when learning. The prefrontal cortex or the rational brain is mostly at use. Now, there is a second part of the brain that I want to talk to you about, and that is the amygdala. The amygdala is behind a little small tiny portion behind the ear. It is a very tiny grape-like portion of the brain, and that is our instinctive brain. Now, when I say the word instinctive, what really do I mean? An instinct is there which is developed within the system, and I feel little children should learn to develop this portion of their brain, that is the instinct. Why do I say this? Our instinctive brain is the brain that saves the organism from destruction. Okay, so when children are young, when they fall down or they hit their head and they realize that, oh, this pains, it is teaching them that I shouldn't do that again, and it develops within a child the ability not to get into that action again. Many parents stop their child from developing this portion of their brain, which is an important portion. An instinctive brain in adults and in all organisms, actually I should say, all human beings I should say, is the irrational portion of the brain. And why do I say irrational portion of the brain? There is no logic in this part of the brain. There is no reason in this part of the brain. There is no judgment in this part of the brain. This is the part of the brain that is put to use when the human being is in danger. So, it is also called the reptilian brain. And in anger, this reptilian brain is highly in use. So I always, when I see somebody angry or I get angry, the first thought that goes into my head is lizard brain. So now I'm behaving like a lizard. I need to take care. So maybe this could be something that you would think of. That is the amygdala. The third portion of the brain that I want to talk about is the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is a large area of the brain which is the equalizing factor. So we have three portions that I'm talking to you about. The first is the prefrontal cortex, the second is the amygdala, and the third is the hypothalamus. The rational brain, the irrational brain, and the equalizing factor. Now, what does this equalizing factor do? This equalizing factor releases two hormones. The two hormones are adrenaline and cortisol. What does adrenaline do? Adrenaline increases the heart rate. Adrenaline forces blood to be pumped to the hands and the legs. Adrenaline causes the blood to be moved out of the skin, because in case you are in battle or in case you are in a fight and there is an injury that you suffer, you won't bleed to death. So adrenaline increases the heart rate, and if it increases the heart rate, it increases blood pressure. Cortisol, on the other hand, what does it do? Cortisol changes the proteins into glucose. This glucose, which is sugar, gives energy to the system. So when you are angry, you will find that you have more power and more energy, especially in your arms and your legs. Why the arms and the legs? The arms because you can fight, the legs because you can kick, also the legs because you can run if you need to run. And why do I say that? It is because when we are angry, we go into a mode of fight or flight. I fight the person or I run away from the danger. So say for example, I have a person that is angry with me, aggressive with me. If the person is my size, my standing, and I feel that, okay, I can fight this person, I will fight. If I see that the person is larger, huger, stronger, and looks like if I get into a fight with this guy, I may lose the fight, then what I do is I flight, I run. So this is what goes on in anger. Now let me show you what happens and the situation that we are faced with, the situation that causes anger, what happens within the brain. Between these three parts, what happens? So, When a person gets angry, the reptilian brain is in action. The reptilian brain is now there to save the person from the situation that they find themselves in. So what does this reptilian brain do? This reptilian brain forces blood into the prefrontal cortex, flooding it and making it useless. So when you are angry, you are not using your rational brain. You are not using the logical portion of your brain. That is why when we speak when we are angry, we speak rubbish. Nothing that we are saying makes any sense, because what is in use is the amygdala. And the amygdala is the lizard brain. It is the brain that has no reason, no logic. It is the brain that is there to help you survive the situation. So prefrontal cortex is put out, amygdala is now in charge, and because amygdala is in charge, to bring a little bit of equilibrium to the system, to help the system to deal with this situation, the hypothalamus releases adrenaline. That is, it increases your heart rate and it pumps blood to your arms and your feet. And it increases cortisol, changing the protein into glucose so that there is more stamina and there is more energy. Now when the adrenaline moves to the arms and the legs, one thing happens within the system. What happens is, normally the blood works in the stomach area to digest the food. Now the blood which should have been in your stomach is now pushed to your arms and your legs. So there is no blood in the stomach to help the digestive system. But the stomach has already released enzymes to digest the food. And so, since digestion is not happening, the enzymes are already in the stomach prepared to digest the food. It causes problems of acidity. So if you're a person who's constantly angry, you will find that you are a person suffering from acidity. Besides acidity, you could have ulcers in the stomach. You could have perforation of your intestines. You get sometimes no mucus being formed. And when there is no mucus formed, you suffer from constipation. The pancreas don't get blood, so they are unable to produce insulin that would help in the digestion of the sugars. And as a result of that, you can suffer from stress-related diabetes. So, you can suffer from many illnesses. You can suffer from a heart problem. You can suffer from blood pressure. You can suffer from diabetes. And you can suffer from acidity, ulcers, and other stomach-related illnesses. And this is all because the blood which should have been in this area is shifted to another area. So we need to find a way to calm ourselves down. If you understand that when you are angry, the logical brain is not working, the illogical brain is working, you will understand two things. You will understand that when people are angry, they are not coming from a place of logic. You will also understand that if you are angry, you are not coming from a place of logic. If you understand this, then you will understand the behavior of the person that you are dealing with. You will understand your behavior. And so, if you understand that, okay, now I'm getting angry, lizard is at work, what will you do and what can you do, I will do in my next video. This is Teacher Grandma signing off, hoping that you've understood anger. Look forward to my new video, which will come up in a few days, on how to manage this problem of anger. Bye-bye.